We'll take chapter 7, literature. Yesterday, girls, we took the introduction and we took the making connection. The making connection was a speech about Barack Obama. Did you like the speech, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
So much.
Yes.
Was it as aspiring? Inspiring?
Yeah. Was.
Yes, and we discussed what we like the most about it. Okay, today, girls, will take the excerpt itself, To Sir with Love. To Sir with Love is written by E.R. Braithwaite. Here is the PowerPoint. To Sir with Love. Here is it. Moving and inspiring. The New York Times, they wrote about this novel. Okay. It is the all-time classic schoolroom drama, as relevant as today's headlines. To Sir with Love, E.R. Braithwaite. What happened? Let's first read about the author. The author himself is Edward E.R. Braithwaite, Edward Ricardo Braithwaite. Okay, read ya Sarah.
Was born in 1920 in British Guiana, present-day Guyana, yes, an English-speaking territory in the Caribbean. His parents were both educated at Oxford University. Braithwaite himself went to Queen's College, an elite colonial school in British. Elite colonial school.
We all make mistakes in pronunciation, girls. It's okay. I make lots of mistakes. It's okay. Even in Arabic, we make mistakes. Okay. Yeah.
By the time he arrived at City College in New York, Braithwaite had acquired the manners of a middle-class intellectual.
Yes.
After leaving the Royal Air Force, he was unprepared for the realities of being a black man in London. The Royal Air Force, bonds forged during war, overshadowed the discrimination common in society
Yes, so he was born in a territory in Caribbean, but it is British, in a British territory in the Caribbean. His parents were educated from Oxford, and he has been also educated, and he joined the Queen's College. Okay, and then he joined the Air Force Army. Okay, and now after everything, it's time to get work. Okay, continue.
So Braithwaite was stunned when he was rejected each time he interviewed for an engineering job, even though his military experience and a master's degree in physics from Cambridge University made him qualified for top jobs in the profession.
So whenever he asks for a job or goes to apply for a job, he found out that he has been rejected. He is rejected every time, and he gets why he gets rejected? Why do you think he gets rejected, girls, at that time, 1920?
I think it's because of racism.
Yes,
They were
the color.
black person.
Yes, the color. Just continue, Sarah.
I'm done. I read it all.
You read it all. Okay, Layan Maghrabi?
Yes, miss.
Yes, read Layan.
18 months later, Braithwaite decided to try teaching, a profession in which candidates were in high demand. His bitterness about his earlier rejections was compounded when he found himself hired but assigned to one of the worst schools in London's East End.
So they hired him, they gave him a job, but they hired him in one of the worst schools in London's East. Okay?
With his middle-class background and years of education, Braithwaite regarded himself as superior to his students, who were poor, mostly white, and rebellious.
Yes. Continue.
Yes, I just saw the slide, miss. I'm sorry. In her introduction to a 2005 edition, writer Carol Phillips illustrates Braithwaite's attitude by citing his own words. They reminded me somehow of The Peasants in a book
Yes.
by...
Here he talk about those students that he was hired to teach them in East London. And these words on his tongue, and he said these words. The author, Carol Phillips, just quoted his words when he said they reminded me somehow of the peasants. Peasants like this. You know the peasants?
Yeah.
In a book by Steinbeck. City, but يعني they were in the city, they stayed in the city, but they dressed like peasants, they looked like peasants, and they talked like peasants. They were so he was shocked by the level of his students. Okay, continue, Elaine.
Braithwaite soon discovered that his good opinion of himself was not shared by members of his new community because of his race and his class, which made him an outfit.
Yes,
Braithwaite...
then later he understood what was the reason that they rejected him each time he asks, approaches for a job, applies for a job. It was his color.
Braithwaite began to understand the problems of post-war British society and Reeve's observation about these issues through the book. After the publication of To Sir with Love, Braithwaite left teaching, becoming first a social worker and then a diplomat. He wrote 2 more memoirs, Paid Servant, 1962, about his career in social work, and Honorary White, 1975, which centers on his years in South Africa.
Yes, he's then quit teaching and became a social worker to ask for stop discrimination and this. So this is our author for To Sir with Love. Now we will start reading the excerpt itself, dear. Okay, you have your book. Open page 135. Lين Ammar.
Yes, miss.
Yes, Lين. 135, the book, Lين. Lين.
Yes, miss.
Read. Do you have your book?
Yes. The first read.
Yes.
Read the following excerpt from To Sir with Love, written by A.R. Braithwaite and published in 1959. Braithwaite was born in Guyana, South America. After joining the Royal Air Force as a pilot during World War II, Braithwaite studied physics at the University of Cambridge. When he finished his doctorate, he was unable to find work, so he took a job as a teacher. To Sir with Love is his memoir about teaching unmotivated 15-year-olds in the East End of London, a rough working-class neighborhood. Objective: as you read, underline sentences that exemplify Braithwaite's behavior as a teacher and the expectations he holds for his students. What point about teaching is he trying to make? In the My Thoughts column, explain your feelings about the behavior that you have underlined.
Okay, so while we read, we will, we want to, what does he want us to do? In objectives is what he wants us to do while reading the first read of To Sir with Love. He wants you to do what, girls? Huh? He wants you to get what out of the text?
What point about the teaching is he trying to make?
Yes, the point about teaching. Thank you, Lynn. Liliane? Judy? Jude? Jude?
Yes, Smith.
Yes, Jude, read it, Jude. Excerpt To Sir with Love.
Oh, yes. Next morning, I must in the book, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Next morning, I had an idea. It was nothing clear-cut, merely speculative, but I considered it all the way to school. Then after assembly, as soon as they were quiet, I waded in. This might be a bit rough, I thought, but here goes. I'm your teacher, and I think it's right and proper that I should let you know something of my plans for this class. I tried to pitch my voice into its mostly informally pleasant, We're going to talk, Yad and I, but we'll be reasonable with each other. I would like you to listen to me without interrupting in any way, and when I'm through, any of you may say your piece without interruption from me. I was making it up as I went along and watching them. At the least sign that it wouldn't work, I'd drop it fast.
Okay, so what happens here, Yajud? Can you tell me? This excerpt is written by whom?
By E.R. Braithwaite.
Braithwaite. Why does he write it? Why does he write this? We just said it, that after he was hired in the school in London, after he was hired there, girls, are you with me?
Yes.
He found himself dealing with
Unmotivated 15.
yes, and what Yilujay?
They were unmotivated in a rough working class.
Yes, and what about unmotivated 15-year-old students, Yajud? If you are a teacher and you are teaching a class of unmotivated students, how would you feel? What is the meaning of unmotivated first, Yajud? Dear Jude, what is the meaning of unmotivated?
I think she's speaking because you can see the ring around her icon.
Maybe something happened. Okay, you, Rima, please tell me, what would you be feeling if you are teaching a class of unmotivated students?
Frustrated.
Uh-huh.
Because they're not really driven to do anything.
Yes, they are not.
And so you not only have to teach them, but also change their mindsets about.
Great answer, Rima. I loved your answer. You not only have to teach them, you have to change their mindset toward teaching. You have to convince them to study, you need to go to school. You have to convince them because they don't want to change themselves. So I had an idea. He says that he had an idea the next morning. It was nothing clear-cut, merely speculative. But I considered it all the way to school. Then after assembly, as soon as they were so quiet, I waded in. This might be a bit rough, I thought, but here goes. So let's underline this. This might be a bit rough, I thought, but here goes. Is it related to teaching techniques or teaching ways?
Yeah, it is.
Because
he strict. You want to be strict on them and to make them get scared and so that they would start studying.
Yes. So when he said this might be a bit rough, I thought, but here goes. Here goes. He is not sure about it. He is not sure of himself. So underline it, please, and write in my thoughts. He is unsure of himself. The first one in my thoughts. Are you with me?
Miss, what should we underline?
Line number 3. This might be a bit rough, I thought, but here goes. And you write this. He is unsure of himself. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Then I am your teacher, and I think it right and proper that I should let you know something of my plans for this class. I tried to pitch my voice and make it strong into most informally pleasant register. Informally, huh? We are going to talk, you and I, but we will be reasonable with each other. I would like you to listen to me without interpreting in any way. And when I'm through, one of you may say your piece without interruption from me. I was making it up as I went along. So all of that was said to whom? We are going to talk, you and I, but we will be reasonable with each other. I would like you to listen to me without interrupting Who
To the
are talking?
students.
Yes, he is talking to the students, so please underline it. So when I come to you and I say to you, here, girls, I came to you. Informally, okay? We're gonna have a conversation, you and I. So here, the teacher here, he what? He treats them as what? He treats students as what?
The friendly way, but at the same time, like he tries to be formal.
He talks to them informally. He said that he talked to them informally. We're going to talk, you and I. We will be reasonable with each other. I would like you to listen to me without interrupting. He is talking to a 15-year-old students. He tries to talk to them as they are adults. Okay, so underline it, please. Underline from what he said. We are going to talk till from me.
Until what, Miss?
Okay, till he said, I'm through. Any of you may say your piece without interrupting from me. You don't interrupt me, I will not interrupt you. We talk as adults, okay?
Yes, Miss, thank you.
You understand, girls?
Yes.
Miss, line 8 to line 10.
Yes. Okay, Lena?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Lena, read, please. From line 14.
Okay. They were interested in spite of themselves. Even the husky Blaise Linham was leaning forward on his desk watching me.
So even someone, yani maybe he is the most annoying student, even he was listening and he was leaning forward on his desk watching me.
Complete. My business here is to teach you, and I shall do my best to make my teaching as interesting as possible. If at any time I say anything which you do not understand or with which you do not agree, I would be pleased if you would let me know. Most of you will be leaving school within 6 months or so. That means that in a short while you will be embarked on the very adult business of earning a living. Bearing that in mind, I have decided that from now on you will be treated not as children but as young men and women, by me and by each other. When we move out of the state of childhood, certain higher standards of conduct are expected of us.
Yes, his words, girls, remind you of whose words?
Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Yes, the speech you've heard yesterday. You heard yesterday, girls.
Yes.
1 minute. Okay, the speech that you heard yesterday, girls. So here he says to them, my business here is to teach you, and I shall do my best to make my teaching interesting as possible. If at any time I say anything which you do not understand or with which you do not agree, I would be pleased if you would let me know. Most of you will be leaving school within 6. So girls, please, what do you feel when a teacher says that to you? If you do not agree, tell me. If you do not understand, tell me. Most of you will leave schools after 6 months, or that means that in a short while you will be embarked on the very adult business of earning a living. After they finish school, they go earn a living to get a job and work and earn money. Bearing that in mind, I have decided that from now on you'll be treated not as children but as young men and women. So underline it, girls. So here it assures which idea that he is doing what?
Treating them as adults.
Yes, he treats them as adults.
Miss, in which line should we underline?
Yes, when he said, I'll try to teach, treat you as men and women, line 54. Okay?
Mm.
He the girls, he does what? He shows what to them?
Respect.
Yes. He shows respect.
And show them that they are responsible.
Yes, and encourage them to
To do something. It will not
to endure their responsibilities. Yes. Okay. Continue, Lana.
Okay. At this moment, the door was flung open and Pamela Dare rushed in, somewhat breathlessly, to take her seat. She was very late.
So who was Pamela there?
A student.
A student. Girls, wake up with me. All of you have to answer, please, girls. Share. Okay, thank you, Lana. Okay, Durra,
Yes, Miss.
read.
Should I read the paragraph again?
From 30, no, from 30, if line 30, for instance.
For instance, I continued, there are really two ways in which a person may enter a room. One is in a controlled, dignified manner. The other is as if someone had just planted a heavy foot in your backside. Miss Dare?
Yes, Miss Dare has just.
Miss Dare has just shown us the second way. I'm quite sure she will now give us a demonstration of the first.
Okay. While he was standing in the class, a student just rushed in the class without excusing or anything. So what did he do? He said, "What? There are two ways to enter a class. The first one is a controlled, dignified manner. Yani you just go and you knock the door and you have your seat and this dignified manner, respected manner. The other way, highlight it, please, underline it. If someone had just planted a heavy foot in your backside. Okay, so Miss Dare has just shown us the second way. Would she please show us the first way? It means that he wants her to do what, girls? Please tell me, what does he want her to do? Who will tell me? Who will tell me? Ragad, tell me, Ragad, what does he want her to do?
To enter with more respect and to knock the door and enter.
Yes, to go out and to re-enter with respect. So underline this, please. So if God forbid it happens to any of you, you'd be feeling what, girls?
Embarrassed.
Guilty.
Yes, excellent, ya Raghat. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing, girls. Why? It is embarrassing to do what? Take one as a public example. She did that. She has to fix it. She has to take another. She has to show us the first way, the respected way. Okay, so underline it, girls, and write it is embarrassing to take one as a public example. Continue, Durra.
To this day, I do not know what made me say it, but there it was. I was annoyed with the way in which she had just barged her way in, insolently, carelessly, late.
Yes, so please underline it.
Yes,
here.
What did you say?
Yes, girls, I want you to figure out something of this sentence. When he said, I do not know what made me say it, but there it was. It happens. So he now regrets what he did at that time or not?
Yes, he regrets.
Yes.
He regrets because it was not smart of him to act this way. It is not smart to humiliate a student or embarrass a student in public in front of all his students. And by the way, we even as teachers try to do this. If we have things to say to a student, we do not say them in front of all the class. Even if he makes mistakes, especially when at the age of 14, 15, especially when he makes a mistake, we do not blame him in front of everyone. Okay, so underline I was annoyed with the way in which she had just bragged her way in, insolently, carelessly, late. Underline this. So what that tell you about his character, girls? His action here, his teaching traits. If a teacher does this, it shows that he or she is what?
Can you say impatient?
Yes, it is impatient, yes. Who said it?
Ragad.
Ragad, thank you, Ragad. It is impatient, yes. He has no patience. He has no patience. He was so angry of her action, so he decided to what? To like humiliate her in front of the class. So he is impatient. Okay? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Ragad. Thank you, Durra. Okay, then Shaheen, continue read, or we stop here, girls, take 3 minutes and then we join the next class, okay? Don't be late.
Okay.
Okay.
3 minutes, 9:30 exactly, come.
Bye.
Bye, girls.
Bye.